Hey, happy Friday, everybody. It's chamber check-in time. And today I have the pleasure of having Chad Case on the show today. Hi, Chad.
Hey, Paul, how's it going, man?
Really good. Like I mentioned, it's a pleasure, all mine, to be able to feature Chad Case visuals. And I've been in Boise since, well, 91. And it seems like every piece of material promoting Boise or any magazine in the last 20 years, it has photography by Chad Case. So we have you today.
Yay. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely. Hey, I look forward to diving in a little bit and getting to hear your story and sharing your story. But first, I get to thank our series sponsor for these check ins. Chad, it's Delta Dental of Idaho. And as you know, Delta Dental provides best in class dental insurance benefits to Idahoans and small businesses across Idaho. And they've been doing it for over 50 years. And with that, I get to share a fun video from their Tooth Truth series. Here we go.
Did you know that snails have 26,000 tiny teeth all lined up in rows? Escargot with garlic.
I love those little clips. Those are fun. Thank you, Delta Dental.
That's Heather, and I photographed Heather. And Delta Dental's, yeah, they're a wonderful company, and they use local talent, which is much appreciated. And yeah, I've seen Heather a few times, and they're a great company.
Well, Chrissy Bowers actually sent me an email when I shared that I was featuring you, and she's like, "Chad Case, he's our hero."
Well, Chrissy and I worked together for years. Yeah, she and I, we always have fun on shoots.
Awesome.
I could tell some good fun Chrissy stories when we were, let's see here. I think we scrubbed in for open heart surgery at St. Luke's at some point. We were both like, what are we doing here? But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
she's been awesome throughout the years. Yeah. And her dad, Chet Bowers, it was an amazing aerial photographer for Idaho. And you've probably seen lots of his aerial photography, iconic stuff throughout the years. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Just these connections. Hey, so let's start this off. Tell us your history, when you got started in photography, and why. So
Why?
let's go.
Okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, I got started when I was 14, and my dad let me use his Bell and Howell, and I was going to Hillside Junior High School with Mr. Steckline, well, not Steckline, Mr. Steinberg was his name, I think, at the time, and took a photography course, fell in love with it, and that was pretty much it. And from there, the short story is photography through high school, went to Boise State. They didn't have a photography program, but I was going to Boise State. I had met at that point in time Stan Sinclair, which was probably one of the larger commercial photographers at that time. We're talking like 89, 90. And I got a job with Stan as an assistant. And he kind of taught me ropes of the commercial side of it, the business side of it, all that stuff. He's still a dear friend today. And then moved on from there. I'll just be quick. So I moved on from there, Stan Sinclair. Then I moved up to Spokane for a little while, went to work for Don Hamilton Photography and Film Company, another great person. Went up to Alaska, worked for Ken Graham Photography up there, and then made my way back to Boise. And in 2001, started my own gig, doing my own photography and stuff. So,
Wow.
yeah.
You offer photography, you offer videography, and now the new thing is drone photography and video. But all three of those play a part in storytelling. And I want you to maybe dive a little bit deeper on the value of storytelling and videography now. That's so important.
It's changed hugely since I began, but definitely, like, we're inundated now with Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, a menagerie of all this visual media. And so, I think for me anyways, I like to find those little stories, the little nuggets, the little things like that. If I'm on a photo shoot, like I'm doing some work for St. Luke's right now, I love those little pieces where you get to meet the person and learn more about them. And like, here's this amazing story. So here's one little instance. I photographed a sterilization specialist, but this is the guy that makes sure all your tools are clean before surgery. And I'm like, that's really important and really cool. And so I got to see the process with that. So it's all these little micro places that happen within the industry that are really interesting. And so I think that, the storytelling piece for me is one of my biggest motivators, and trying to, obviously you've got lights and cameras and all that stuff, but
Right.
I feel like value, or the real thing that I really enjoy, is that piece of meeting new people and hearing that story and listening to them or seeing it, and then trying to portray that authentically, either through video or for photos. Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about some of your mentors here locally that have shaped
Yeah.
the way you
Yeah.
do things.
Lots.
Yeah.
I'm such a fortunate person, Paul, that I've had so many awesome mentors in my career. Like I say, I started off with Stan Sinclair. Actually, I started off with at Hillside Junior High when I was 14 with the photography teacher there, which he encouraged me to, like, oh, you're good at this. You should do this. And then I just kept taking pictures, and then Stan Sinclair. So I went to work for Stan in 1989, 90. And so Stan, where Bardenay is now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the double doors into Bardenay that open up.
Yeah.
It used to be a garage door. That whole space used to be the old Mountain Bell garage. What all their vans would park in there, right?
Yep.
Stan rented that from Grove all the way back to the alley. And then the Basque Market was also part of that space. All of that, I think, he got it for $400 a month. He was like, "Oh, that's a lot." Anyways, I went to work for Stan, and he was just such an awesome mentor and great guy. And his wife, Kim, it was just such a family business. His dad, John, also had a studio. He did a lot of portraits, family portraits, weddings, and things like that. Stan mainly focused on commercial stuff.
Okay.
And so yeah, started out there, and then he moved out of that spot over onto Main Street, 615 Main Street, and we had the top and bottom right there. It used to be a taco joint, now it's something different. But yeah, and within that time frame, gosh, I could just rattle off the names of, like, it used to be Elgin Cypher Drake, and then it became E.S. Drake, and now it's Drake Cooper, and you've got all these people that have been doing it for a long time. Pete Wilson. I'm going to forget lots of names. Christy Wire. Yeah. But it's just nice to have that familiarity in that industry, and know those people and do those things. And as things change and agencies change and people move around, it's still just this nice thing to see people and be friends.
Everybody takes pictures now. We all have our phones.
Yeah.
And some of us, invest in a little bit more quality cameras.
Mm-hmm.
What was the actual turning point, or no, let me think about that question again. How did you turn a hobby into a profession? And what are, like, 3 things that kind of set you apart? Like, hey, I can make this a career. Because everybody loves photography, and we'll talk a little bit about moments after you answer this question, but help me understand how you turned photography into a profession.
Well, the first thing was that Stan Sinclair gave me the opportunity to do was learn the business of photography. Like, there's lots of people out there. There was lots of photography schools at the time that have gone under now, Brooks Institute, things like that. And they taught you how to take great pictures, but they didn't teach you how to run a business. So Stan really gave me the opportunity to be like, okay, yeah, this is all cool and fine and dandy, and this is creative and cool, but we still have to invoice and collect and deliver and all this stuff. So he really gave me that opportunity, as well as up in Alaska, Ken Graham and Jackie gave me the opportunity to just learn business and, like, say, here's our business, help us run it. The second thing is, just the creative piece to it, and learning that piece, and that, I'm a firm believer in, like, I have too much equipment, but that it's more about the eye than it is about the equipment. So let's say I'm going to hand somebody a $10,000 camera, but if their eye's not there, if they don't like cultivate that or do that, then the guy with the gal with the iPhone's probably going to get a better shot, you know. So just learning the piece of like that you have to bring your vision to it, and that creative piece. And the third thing was, I had it in my mind, Paul, but now it's going away. What was it? It was something to do with running a business, creativity, and customer service. Show up on time, be nice, deliver your work on time. Pretty simple.
I love it. Attitude and effort, hard work is such a big piece to it, because when you're having those moments of when the light's right and the scenery's correct and the model is perfect, those are things, but those are moments that, and we talked about that a little bit too. You can plan for the perfect shot or the perfect video, but you mentioned it, the actual moment is going on over here, and you're planning this.
We talk about it all the time. Like just recently, I've been shooting the St. Luke's annual report, and we do all the planning beforehand, and we get the people there, and like I said, the sterilization specialist, and we have our idea of what that shot might be, but there's a lot of times where it's like, that is not the shot, but all of a sudden the magic happens right here, and you just kind of roll with it. Yeah.
I'm going to show kind of an example. So this is an old chamber book called The Seasons of Boise.
Steve Bly took the photo on the front there.
Yeah, this is you took this photo, and obviously
Steve took that photo.
Okay, yeah.
I think. God, I don't know.
Well, what's cool about this book is it's a Chamber of Commerce book, and it showcased a lot of the businesses in here and kind of the seasons. It was really cool. But your photos are all over this. And when I first came to the chamber, it's you and Steve Bly.
Steve Bly and I did it, and there's some other people in there, but
Patrick Taglia, Troy Mahan.
Yep.
Anyway, I opened this book here in our office for the first time, and I'm scrolling through it, and there's this fall picture, and it's coming through. I work graveyard freight crew at Albertsons, and I was coming home from work on my bicycle, and it was a beautiful fall morning, just after sunrise, and I'm riding through the Grove Plaza, and the fountain was on, and I rode around it, and there's this photographer set up, and he said, "Hey, hold on, stop a second. Can you turn around and give me another ride through so I get that picture?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "It's near 30 for me. I'm done with work, but whatever." So that picture was in that book, and I'm like, "That's me."
Not just that book, Paul. That was an iconic picture that was in several magazines and brochures and things. It was an iconic Boise image of the beautiful fall colors. It was perfect symmetrically, and then you riding with the fountain. I didn't know that was you. We just found this out, people. We just found this out like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago.
That just explains that those moments that are unplanned are sometimes the best.
They are, yeah. And that's, I've kind of built everything on corporate and business and things like that. But then I also got a lot of net travel photography, and that's the piece there too. It's like, okay, there's no reshoot. Like you can't go back and do that again. Like the magic has to happen, and you have to capture it while it's going. And that was kind of the fun and the buzz of that, versus being on a corporate shoot where you're like, okay, let's shoot 1,000 frames of the same two people in the same position just so we can get that nth degree of right thing, right? Yeah.
Well, behind you have a lot of nature photos, and I see on your website you have river trips, and you have landscape photography. Is that something that you specialize in, or you can do architecture photography? Tell me a little bit about the favorite type of work that you do.
Yeah, so originally I trained in commercial with Stan, so just basically like Delta Dental, business portraits and architecture and things in the local community here and around the state of Idaho too. We working with a small business development center and telling those stories that are very much business oriented, and which is great. And I love those things. But for me personally, it was like an outlet to go do the travel thing. And so it was a piece for me to mix that in just a little bit where I could like focus on, for lack of a better term, income generating work that's here local and doing things. And then I still made an income from travel, but it was something completely different that kind of fed my soul a little bit. The same thing with landscape photography. I mean, I tell people this all the time. Like, if I wasn't in a career of photography, if I didn't own my own business, I'd still be taking pictures every day.
Right.
Not. This is what I do. It's like, we're going on a river trip. We're doing a Middle Fork in August with my family. And I know I'm going to be taking pictures all day long, every day. And just another small funny story. We were doing a story for a fly fishing company, Helfrich, on the Middle Fork of the Salmon River. And these fly fishing guys can be nuts, right? Like, they just fish all day long till their hands are worn off with blisters and stuff. And they let me fish for a little bit. And then I realized, I want to go back to taking pictures. And so for me, in a personal respect, it was like, oh, it was a good kind of self-realization. Like, this is my thing. Like, you like to fish, but I get what you get out of fishing, out of taking pictures. I just keep on going. So yeah, it was a cool thing.
Wow. Hey, let's stay to our
program here.
We could talk forever. Hey, do you sell artwork to people, or do you just provide services for your clients?
No, sell artwork. Typically not. I mean, if I'm not Mark Lisk, which is a good buddy that has made a really strong profession in that, and other people that I know around the area that have made strong profession prints. I do sell prints, and I do offer them, online and things like that. It's not something that I've been really marketing. I kind of came from more the business perspective, and then stock photography was a big thing for a long time. That's kind of gone a little bit to the wayside, but so still a lot of dealing with real estate companies that are like, hey, we want pictures of the Boise area on our website, and I send them so I've got a large Idaho collection of photos that I do print and I do sell for people and things like that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put your website here, scrolling on the bottom.
Look at that.
Casevisuals.com.
That'd be me.
You've been a longtime member of the chamber. You've shot our VIP gala attendance. You've been involved.
Can I tell a funny story about that, Paul?
Yes.
Okay. So Ben Stein.
Yes.
One of the VIPs one year, right? And I'm doing
the VIP guy.
Yeah. And so he's up there and he's dressed classically like a loose suit and tennis shoes and things like that, right? And he says, what was his last photo? And it was with Mayor Beater at the time, but he just went right into Ferris Bueller character, and he was standing up there, but the mayor was talking to somebody, and he just was like, Beater. So it was just classic. So there's just little stories along the way like that too. Those are fun to.
I love
people. It. Yep.
I love it. Being in Idaho for a long time for you has really helped you tell that Idaho story. And I think that's one of the little pieces of secret sauce that makes your photography, videography, and drone footage that much more exceptional. Because the people, the area, those little stories that show in your photography, even without words on the picture.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. No, and I've been away from, I've moved to Alaska and came back and some other moves, but this is my home and I love it. And I love getting out there and, doing work for Idaho tourism for a long time. That was so much fun, and just meeting all those people. And then even with the small business development center, meeting all these small businesses in all 7 regions of the state. And it's just, we got a special spot here. And the flip side to that is, you got to tell the truth, and then people move here because it's so cool, right? Yep. Like a double-edged sword, man.
Well, Chad, I've been in quite a few businesses in this last month. And one thing I've noticed is on the walls of these businesses is professional photography that has been printed and put on those walls. And they look like they're a glass kind of print. And they're just gorgeous, blown up photos of rivers and hills and valleys and flowers. And and our mountainscapes. I was in the Idaho Fish and Game new building, and
Oh, I gotta go there.
there's these beautiful murals of the Selway and the wilderness areas and our Boise River. You know, what people like, you're talking about fly fishing on the Boise River.
I mean, you don't have to go far. You get the Boise River, you get the Boise foothills. Like you could look at those for a lifetime right there.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
Yeah.
Chad, thank you so much for your time today to help share the Chad Case visual story with me today. We're so lucky to have you in your talent here in town. Thanks for sharing the photos over the years.
Yeah, thank you for having me on. And I'll see you on the trail or on the river, right, Paul?
Absolutely. Chad, have a great rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And I look forward to our next conversation, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay.